Press Start Podcast.
And welcome back to the Press Start Podcast. This is episode number 161. And I'm your host, Vic, aka Mr. Never Chillin'. This week I'm joined by Scott, aka Scobie One. What's going on, bro?
Not much. How is everyone doing today?
I'm a bit tired, I would say. Got off work and came right here to finish up the itinerary, and here we are. But
I hear you.
how you been, man? You haven't been on the show in quite some time. How's everything going for you?
Man, March has been crazy. I've been having my own little version of March Madness over here. Just busy with everything. Some things that we knew about, some things we got busy with, some unpleasant surprises, like a tree falling on our fence
That
and
looked like
dealing with
fun.
that stuff. Yeah, the chainsaw was fun. That was great. But now we're slowly burning through the entire massive, like, 8 foot tall brush pile that's in my driveway. But yeah, other than that, I mean, March has just been a crazy, crazy month for the Roby household. We've been getting at it. We've been busy. I don't think any of us have slept in past 7 o'clock
Mm,
in the
yeah,
last like 8 years. It feels like.
yeah.
but other than that, happy to be back. Happy to be able to have some time to flesh out to hang out with you and talk some games.
Yeah, man, there's definitely been a lot. Obviously, we canceled last week, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and dive into what we actually been playing over the last few weeks. Per se, honestly, hasn't been really a ton for either of us, but we'll just dive right into it with Avowed. This has been the talk of the episode, the past few episodes that we did have with Roger. I wish he was here to join us because I think he beat it as well, but I'm not 100% on that. But I did beat it since the last time we talked about it, and yeah, the game lived up to every aspect that I was looking for in this game, and ended up giving I didn't give it like a 9 out of 10. Like this was damn near a masterpiece, like through and through. Like the story just kept having great story beats and kind of like I was really curious of very different aspects of what was going on in the game, and I was really curious to see on how a lot of my decisions were going to impact the game. And you kind of seen that like throughout the game, especially when you get to the end. It's like, well, because of your decision during this time, this is what's going to happen now, and you're like, oh, like I didn't realize the repercussions of what I did then was going to affect the story now. So like that was pretty awesome to see. Um, overall, man, it was just great, man. I continued like my similar playthrough the entire time. Wand, Grimoire, I was very wizard mage esque kind of player and just wrecking shit. I never felt underpowered. Probably the rest of the game. I think it was like at the beginning part, like there were some fights I was like, man, I feel really really underpowered here. And then after that point on, there was nobody that could fuck with me. I was going into bounties and then they have like this big ass health bar, and I'm just like 1, 2, 3, dead. All right, next, like
Get
just
after it. Yep.
whooping ass. But yeah, that was I just it was fun, man. I really enjoyed the gameplay loop and everything. But how's your playthrough, Ben? I know you didn't get to really play too much of it yet, still, but
Yeah.
how's it?
Yeah, I haven't gotten too much farther. This whole room has been shut off to me for the past month or so. So when I got in here, it was very few and far in between, and it was generally for some one would say schoolwork. Um, but I did get to go into Avowed for a little bit more. I played for like an hour the other day. Still very very early in the game,
Are you still in
just
the
because I
first
haven't
zone?
gotten a chance. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just 'cause I haven't gotten a chance to go back to it. But I fell right back into what I usually do, and I'm just turning over every rock and stone that I can. But it's still fun when I hopped back in. It felt good to get back into it. The gameplay is still fun, and seeing everything that you and Roger were talking about, like it makes me more excited to get back into it to play. Um, I'll have to be very very intentional about when I actually do go to play it
Hmm.
to make sure that I'm going through and taking the time to do what I got to do to finish the game
Yeah.
so I can share in everyone's rejoice of the game.
Right. I can actually say I probably did just about 99% of the side content. Like all of the side missions, all of the bounties, the treasure maps, the all of the totems. I got all four totems done in the game. Um Pretty much did everything. So I put about a little over 42 hours I think into the game. So yeah, I definitely this is one of those games where I actually did all of the side content cuz I mean I talk about it all the time like man, If the side content doesn't really have an impact or they don't seem interesting, I'm probably not going to do it. But I really just loved the flow of the game because like a lot of the direction that you were heading to complete like the main mission, the side mission was probably going to be nearby, and like a lot of times it was like in a big ass circle or like in a certain shape where you could just follow like a nice little path, complete everything, and honestly completing the side missions like allowed you to explore more, and then like exploring allowed you to get, you need a lot of resources in this game, especially if you're going to max
Mhm.
out your equipment. Like you're going to have to get
Yes.
a lot of fucking materials, and that's very key. And then like the side missions reward you with that stuff, or even the money, which comes in handy because you can buy the lock picks, which are beyond important. Make sure you have like a stockpile of those at all time. And then just buy the resources from all the vendors, like take advantage of those. But yeah, it's just the game overall was just damn near perfect. I had a few issues here and there, like I was falling through the map a few times. The one bounty mission, like I killed the person, but it never dropped the bounty like loot you're supposed to collect to take back to the person to claim your bounty. And then like a future patch fixed it, so all I had to do was go back into that area and the item was there, and then grabbed it and completed that mission. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
just a few issues that prevented it from being a 10 out of 10, just in my opinion. Um,
That's fair.
yeah, it's just like I don't replay games, but I am curious to see like there's a decision towards the end of the game that you make that has a dramatic difference of your ending, and I'm
Mhm.
curious to see what the actual ending of that would be. I may just watch it on YouTube just to see what happens if you make that decision versus my decision that I made, and kind of go from there.
Nice. Good
But yeah,
deal.
man. But let's go ahead and talk about another game we've been playing, Pokemon TCG Pocket. Obviously, a new set just came out. Um, been trying to complete all of those. Like I feel like I keep getting to like the end of the sets. I need like 5, 6 cards, and then another set drops. You're like, well, not getting those ones because I'm not going to be opening those old packs because the new packs are out. New shiny stuff is there, so of course you're going to run through
Yep.
those. No pun intended there on that one, but yeah, man, it's just. I just love that just the two packs a day hit. You're like, oh, new cards, nope, no new cards. I love going through and adding items to my wish list, so I know what I'm looking for when I'm doing the wonder picks and whatnot, and then obviously completing all the challenges to get the tokens and stuff. But how's your overall general experience with TCG Pocket?
It's fun. It's my I mean, it's just kind of embedded itself into my life as just part of my routine at this point.
Yep.
Uh, Wake up, check a pack,
Yes.
do my
Go
stuff like, and then before I
check
go to
back.
bed, check
Go
a
check
pack,
back. Yep.
see if I can get a pack and all that good stuff. Like, right, I'll be laying in bed and I'll be rolling through the TikToks and the Instagram reels that people have sent me, and then I'll just be like, yeah, let me check and see if I got a pack available right now.
And then
Oh, I do. Cool. What do I get?
every 3 days you get a bonus pack because you get enough of those tokens
Yep.
to speed up the timer for a whole another 12 hours. You're like, yep, here we go.
Yeah, but
But yeah,
I'm
man.
uh but I'm full into the Shining Revelry. We're doing
Hmm.
good there. But like you just said, it's I get 5, 4, 3, or even one card away from completing an entire booster set, and it's like, hey, here's the new one, and it's like, well, I'm clearly gonna go to the new one. Like that's the new shiny thing for me, so I'm gonna go ahead and do
Yeah,
that until that gets old, and until I get 5 cards away from beating that, and then they drop another one.
yeah. I think the trading
But it's been
aspect is
fun.
going to come in handy, like big time, to complete these sets.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately for the genetic apex set, the card I need is a Gengar EX,
Mm,
and that's not gonna get traded anytime soon. You need way too much
yeah,
to be able to trade that.
I'd have to see if
Um,
I'm able to trade it because I might have a couple.
yeah, yeah. If you got a couple, I'll give you. I have about 16,000 Wooloos that I can give you. One of exactly one of
Yeah, I gotta
for it.
see. I gotta see what I need out of some of my sets. See if you
You know,
have any of them.
you have your people talk to my people. We'll see if we can't figure this out and
Yeah,
get a completed booster.
yeah, we'll see. I'll put it to the HR and all the board of directors and see if we can get it through.
Yeah, yeah. Yep, absolutely. You have to fast track that.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. All right, man. So another game that I've been super excited to play is Assassin's Creed Shadows. I got that physical copy from Target. Shout out to them. Got me my steel book, which looks absolutely incredible. I'm not gonna lie, I've not put any time into this game. Like I'm still in the prologue. I did all of Yasuke's one, and I just got to Naomi's or Naue or whatever. I think her name is Naue, and just got to that, started that one, and I was like, all right, cool. Like I was just so tired when I first dove into that game. I was like, I have no energy to play video games right now. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me stop playing it. I haven't gone back to it yet, but it is the next game that I'm going to be trying to play and beat. Outside, I did continue my playthrough of The Walking Dead: A New Frontier. I'm at like episode 4 out of 5, so I'm almost done with that game. So I'm trying to play like some of these like smaller, easier, quicker games while trying to balance these much bigger games. Like I'm already know that Assassin's Creed Shadows is probably going to be anywhere from a 70 to 90 hour game to beat. This is going to be double the length of Avowed. This is going to be double the length of Ghost of Tsushima. Like I'm in for it for the long haul here, but just wanted to give a quick shout out to them because they had 2 million players at launch, and this has exceeded Origins and Odyssey's launch numbers. So that's pretty impressive, and this is really big for Ubisoft because they needed a big hit, and so far this game has been doing extremely well. A lot of people are
Yeah,
really enjoying it.
they
It's
needed the win.
reviewing well too, which we're going to dive into what's going on in Ubisoft because a lot has been shaken up there. But are you interested in checking out Shadows one of these days, or is it kind of just maybe maybe not?
For sure, one of these days. But I stepped away from the Assassin's Creed franchise just a while back, and I just not for anything that they had done or didn't do. It was just one of those things that I just kind of stepped away from and then just didn't go back to. But what they've been putting out over the past couple years, some of them look really really good, and then Shadows looked amazing. I really wanted to get into Odyssey. I just never really got the opportunity. Because when I sit down and
Right.
play, like we've discussed so many times, like I want to play something that I already know that I can just I want to hop into a comfort game.
Hmm.
And so like getting something new or getting something that I have to relearn, like is just going to take an extra bit of effort.
Yeah.
Um, but seeing how well Shadows has been doing and seeing some of the gameplay there, this could very well be up on the list when I do decide to go back and see some Assassin's Creed games. This could very well be up there with Odyssey. Um, and I liked Val. I thought Valhalla looked cool too, but
Valhalla was
I'm
fun.
not sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it really just depends. But this looks great, and it looks like one that like if I do hop back in, it would be one that I
Mhm.
would absolutely
Yeah,
start
one
off
one of
with.
the big things about Shadows is apparently you actually get to play as like a member of the Creed. Like it's for the first time in a long time. Like Valhalla, you're not really playing an assassin. Like you're playing like one of the early day hidden ones. Like they're not even known as the Assassin's Creed yet. Same thing with like Odyssey and Origins. Like you're really not an assassin yet. You're kind of like one. You're like the predecessor to him, but like now you are an assassin in this game. So that's really dope.
You are the Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
It's him, John Assassin.
But yeah, man. Any other games you wanted to highlight this week before we move on to the industry news?
I mean, not so much. I mean, as you see, I always have Pokemon Go here in my
Yeah, it's part of your
repertoire, as
routine.
it were, as part of my routine. But they've been doing quite a few things going on. They've been keeping the fun alive with some of the short quests they have, the daily quests or like the small like couple hour quests and like and tasks that you can do.
Yeah.
And so it honestly just feels like I'm doing real life dailies. I just hop in there, do my couple things, and then pop out, and then I'm good for another day. Um, but they've been keeping it alive with some of the Dynamax and some of the Gigantamax things that they're doing here.
Hmm.
Um, and they've never really dropped the ball yet. So
That's good.
just shout out to them because it's still fun. It's still a good one to keep playing.
I hope that it continues to be that way. I think you missed it not last week, 2 weeks ago, that Niantic sold off all of their gaming platforms, so like they don't own Pokemon Go and any of that other stuff, and they did confirm that like at least none of the locational data is going with them per se. So like I'll you're not like losing privacy and whatnot, but hopefully Pokemon Go continues to be what it is now in the new hands.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's go ahead and check out our industry news because we actually got a good bit this week. So let's go ahead and check that out. All right, kicking it off here with Xbox. They just had two quick updates. Activision's user research team has voted to form a union, and Microsoft has decided to recognize it and will begin negotiations soon. So that's good to see another union form in the games industry that is very much needed, especially with all these layoffs and just the mistreating of employees. So that is definitely good to see there. Another big announcement is they announced they are joining others as a member of the new accessible games initiative. So like they're joining like the likes of like Ubisoft, um, Electronic Arts, Google, Nintendo, and many other companies as well that are all part of this initiative. That's just kind of, you know, we talk about it all the time how important it is, like with the accessibility options in video games, whether it's controllers or just the options in the game that just make it so that anybody and everybody can play the games and enjoy them. So it's awesome to see there. So that's all the updates on industry news specifically for Xbox. But what's going on with Nintendo, man? You're muted.
That stupid mute button gets me every
Jeez,
time.
how dare you?
How dare I? Next time I'm just gonna sneeze in the podcast and call it a day. I'm just gonna blow everybody's subwoofers while they're driving on the way to work. So coming out of Nintendo, we actually have some interesting information here. The Seattle Mariners, an MLB team, will actually be having the Nintendo logo as a patch on their jerseys this year. Why would that happen, Scott? That's an excellent question, and I'm glad that you asked. So, for those that aren't familiar with the Seattle Mariners, they first started in about 1977. But one of the principal owners, well, the principal owner for the Mariners, was actually Nintendo's third president, Hiroshi Yamauchi. So he actually purchased the team in 1992. He kept them in Seattle when there was looking at purchases of the team. So they go way back. So with Nintendo's third president essentially buying and saving them, and then when Seattle got got like they didn't get relocated, but like the original owners, like his home was originally like right next to the Nintendo of America headquarters. So there's just a lot of the kind of like deep lore that you get between Nintendo and the Seattle Mariners. And so after his death, they had tried paying homage a lot to him and his legacy that he had left, and that's kind of culminating here, based off of a new rule that started in 2022 where the MLB was allowing individual teams to wear branding and or kind of advertisements on their jersey, and so it just makes perfect sense that the Mariners would have Nintendo on their sleeve for this. So I think it's a great matchup. I think it's nice to see how they're handling that and kind of working with Nintendo with the sponsorship because a lot of times in their stadiums you would always see ads for like the Nintendo Wii, the Wii U, the Nintendo DS, like all that good stuff, just because they were so closely intertwined. And that finally culminates here with the Mariners actually wearing the Nintendo icon as a patch on their sleeve for this upcoming season.
Yeah, it's pretty badass. Honestly, definitely didn't expect it, but yeah, it's crazy to see like the backstory and the lore that kind of ties the Seattle Mariners into Nintendo. You know, that's pretty dope. All right, man. Let's talk about Ubisoft here now. This is I was kind of alluding to this a little bit ago. Is that Ubisoft obviously has been going through a very rough time with a lot of their games, costing themselves tons of money, not really having a sense of direction. We know that they were in talks of like being bought out. They might be selling some of their IPs. What the fuck is going on here? But they have decided to form a new subsidiary for IPs like Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six with the help from Tencent with a 1.16 billion euro dollar or euro investment, which equates to about 1.25 billion dollars. Um, so just another hand in the pot from Tencent. You know, they got to have their hands in just about everything. But yeah, this will be interesting to see like how this goes. Obviously, Assassin's Creed's been doing really well. Far Cry, I mean, they've been doing fairly decent as well. Rainbow Six has been flying off the charts, especially with Siege and then the new update, the Siege, the new free to play version of it and stuff like that. It says Ubisoft will also still focus on the development of Ghost Recon and Division franchises as well. So yeah, they definitely got a lot going on. They're just trying to draw back and kind of just focus on like, all right, what has really worked for us, and we're gonna kind of go from there. So Only time will tell. Hopefully, Ubisoft can return to its primetime days. All right, Scott. What's
We
the
shall
big
see.
exciting news this week?
Guys, Game Informer is back. I know they weren't gone for long, but it doesn't make it any less devastating. Game Informer is back. Not only are they are back with 100% of the original team that was working at Game Informer when it was closed.
Yes.
Huge. Absolutely massive. Huge, massive, exciting. Love it. You love to see it. So coming out of that, they're coming back. They're also operating as an independent editorial outlet, and then so they will be doing their own thing, just intrinsically by themselves, doing their own thing, doing the thing that game that doing the Game Informer stuff that we know and love.
Yeah.
Not only that, we will also be seeing physical and digital magazines return. I could smell the magazine already. I could smell it in the checkout line at Wegmans. I could smell that shit, and it smells like redemption. I'm excited. What do you
Yeah.
think? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. I was a avid Game Informer collector. Obviously, this was done through GameStop, and every time you sign up for a GameStop Pro membership, it automatically came with Game Informer magazine, and I always looked forward to receiving that magazine every single month. And I used to collect them for years, and I used to have boxes of them. I think I got rid of most of them now at this point, unfortunately, but you know, it's just awesome to see, and I may actually subscribe back to their new Game Informer magazine here once that's up and running. But it's good to see,
I'm
man. I mean,
interested.
without them, like a lot of this wouldn't even exist. Like Game Informer was a big influence on this podcast. I used to listen to their podcast. Used to get a lot of the insights from their Twitter or from their magazine. So it gave me talking points. So and I actually used to use them for like release schedules. They used to have like a calendar of when games were coming out, and that's who I used. So they were very, very, very resourceful and something that I actually could rely on for accurate information and not something that's made up or fake.
Yes, they were very, very informative to the gamer,
Yeah, I can
and I mean
imagine.
they've been. Who would have thought, right? It's almost like it's just right there on the nose. I mean,
Yeah.
these guys have been doing it for 20 plus years. You know them, you love them. You hate to see when things close out like that, but it's it's awesome to see that they're coming back. They have everybody, and they're just gonna pick up almost where they left off, and just keep doing what we know and love. I can't wait. It's gonna be sweet.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, man. One last topic here for our industry news here. I really wish Roger was here to talk about it because he was actually kind of excited when I dropped this into the Discord. But the EU Consumer Protection agency, let's say, is now forcing games to treat in-game currency more like real-world money, basically implying that it's keeping games from forcing players to buy specific amounts of currency. So like no more like buying like, oh, if you spend $10 you get like 1,000 currency or whatever. Like no, if I want to buy like one currency, I'm going to be able to buy one currency. Games also have to show real world money costs of items now, so it doesn't mislead customers. So when you're looking at that bundle and it's 3,000 V bucks, what the fuck does that really mean in the grand scheme of things? Instead of you having to do math yourself and figure out the equivalents, now it's going to tell you, hey, this is a $30 bundle or whatever you are really spending money on. So I think that's really going to help. Obviously, there's a lot of issues with like addiction when it comes to buying this stuff, the FOMO. There's definitely a lot of issues, and I think having that kind of money up front and visible to the consumer is really going to be awesome to see. But what's your take on this?
No, this is huge. This transparency is something that I think all games should really get behind. Um, because now, if we're sitting here, you and me talking, and we're like, oh, it's 3,000 V bucks. Well, 3,000 V bucks is probably like a $14.99 a 14.99 purchase through the store with like maybe an extra 500 bonus. Who knows, right?
Yeah.
But but to those of us, and when I say us, I mean the younger crowd who's playing the game, who doesn't know what 3,000 V bucks is. They just know they have to get 3,000 of them to get their
Mm-hmm.
skin. And then obviously this is just all hyperbole at this point, but like a lot of people don't see that. A lot of people don't see the real world dollar attachment
Mm-hmm.
to what they're getting in game. Um, a lot of people don't understand how much real money you're spending to get your fake money. And having this transparency is huge, um, and having this stop games from forcing them to buy at the $1.99 level, $4.99 level, $9.99 level, like having this stop the specific amount currency, I think
Mhm.
is also great because you can just buy what you need and that's it.
Yeah, because I
You
hated
can
there was
buy
a
what
lot
you
of
need and that's it.
practices like the bundle be 1,100, but you can only buy 1,000 of them. But then you have to buy another 500 because they don't make 1,100, and then you can't buy 100 of them individually. So now I had to spend $15 instead of the $11 that I needed to spend.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly what you're saying right here. You would get into a spot where it's like bundles would be 12 or 1,300, like let's say COD points, like 12 or
Yeah.
1,300 COD points, right? Well, they don't sell $1,300 COD point packages. They sell 500. They sell 1,000. They sell 2,000. So people were buying 2,000 COD points because they only needed 1,100 or 1,200.
Yeah, that was the path of
And
least
so they were
resistance
always,
of getting
yeah,
it.
it's the path. Yeah, it's the path of least resistance. You'd spend the 19.99 every time they release a new season instead of maybe $3 or $4 that you actually needed to make up for your lack of COD points to just fill that gap.
Yep.
And being able to have that option now is a huge, going to be great. And I really hope that this is something that starts to catch on. I don't agree with a lot of what the EU does, but
Mhm.
this is
Yeah.
something that I can
There's
get
been a
behind.
lot of great things that they've been doing for like the tech industry and video games in general. Like, great example is I'm glad that they forced basically all chargers to become Type C because I got tired of having like 10 different chargers to charge things when I can just have one,
Mhm. Your
you know?
proprietary,
Like
the
iPhone.
proprietary bullshit from
I
Apple, yeah,
Yeah, like I have a Lightning and I'm just like everything else in my house is Type C. It like just I just wish I could just I mean I could get an adapter or whatever and just and make it work, but it's just like no, it's frustrating.
yeah.
But yeah, shout out to EU for that. All right, man. That's all the industry news we got this week. So let's go ahead and dive into the gaming news because we actually got some fun topics to get to. All right, kicking it off here with Xbox as always. Some updates to some of their games. Sea of Thieves is getting a Destiny 2 collab. So interesting enough, they're crossing over with a PlayStation IP. Like the world that we live in, like if I would have thought this would have happened like 10 years, like 5, 10 years ago, I'd have been like, no, that just doesn't even make sense. But I'm gonna get the trailer here up on screen. Looks pretty cool. I mean, I haven't been in the Sea of Thieves world in quite some time since it probably first launched, but nonetheless, same thing with Destiny. I haven't played Destiny 1 or 2 since those games first originally came out. But yeah, this is pretty cool, and hopefully we get to see some more partnerships between Xbox and PlayStation. This kind of also makes sense the fact that Sea of Thieves did come to PlayStation, and it was no longer an Xbox exclusive. And obviously, we know Destiny is a multi-platform game, but yeah, man, pretty cool. What's your thoughts on the whole Sea of Thieves Destiny 2 collab?
Interesting. Interesting to say the least. Unexpected, at least
Hmm.
from where I'm standing. Surprised they didn't have Tia Dalma from Pirates of the Caribbean. Just being like you have a touch of Destiny about you, then just all the Destiny characters drop. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think it'll be fun. I mean, it's a good collab. I mean, Sea of Thieves has been around for a hot minute. Same
Hmm.
same with Destiny. It was one of those things that it was only a matter of time before their paths crossed,
Yeah.
and I think we are now in that point of time.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I would never have saw Sea of Thieves and Destiny 2 cross because they have zero similarities. Like, period. Like, they're not even relative.
But in the realm of collabs,
Yeah,
it's
why
at
not?
some point something is going to cross with something else that it has no business crossing with.
Yeah, shout out to
So
Fortnite.
yeah, yeah. Shout out Fortnite, Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, uh,
Yeah.
all of it, like all of it.
All right, man.
In a pre-Fortnite world, I would have said this should not exist. In a pre-Fortnite world, I would have said there's no way that this happens.
Right.
But we are in a post-Fortnite world where you can clearly collab with everything and everybody all the time.
Yeah, at all times. Yep. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, man. So, because of Valve has been doing extremely well, Obsidian has gone back to one of their classic games, Pillars of Eternity, which is from the same universe of Avowed, and it's getting a surprise update. So this game is getting a surprise turn-based mode later this year alongside other updates. So obviously, with the excitement of the game, people, I guess, were probably diving back into it, maybe looking for some new content, new ways to play the game, and they're kind of freshening it up a little bit. I've never played any of Pillars of Eternity game. Does not look like my cup of tea. Avowed would be my way to play any game within that franchise. That is definitely more my speed. But it's just awesome to see that Avowed or Obsidian is has enough resources and the ability to, excuse me, dive back into some of their older games and make them a little bit better, put them back in the limelight. Obviously, they have a lot going on with Avowed and the Outer Worlds 2 right around the corner. They still supporting Grounded and Pentiment. So I mean, like they're one of my favorite developers, and they just been kicking ass, honestly. But have you ever played Pillars of Eternity?
Briefly, very very briefly, but it's great to see that they're getting their comeuppance.
Yeah,
It's great. It's great to see that they're getting that little revamp. So that's
yeah.
exciting stuff.
Shout out to that. So, just quick update for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. It has its official PS5 release date for April 17th of 2025. So, I'm really excited for all those non-Xbox gamers finally being able to check out potentially one of the game of the years for this year. And last but not least, in regards to games, Minecraft is getting a pretty massive update. They're finally getting their much needed visual upgrade without having to use third party visual packs. So you basically get like the 4K rendering and renditions of the game. It looks pretty cool, and this should be coming out later this year. Um, Basically, like they were basically telling people, do not look for Minecraft 2 anytime soon. This is here for the long haul, and we're just going to make it look a little bit more pretty. If you wanted to, no more of those third party packs, but you could just do it with the official update here. So awesome there. I always feel like I want to hop back into Minecraft like every once in a while, just for some weird reason. But it's been like that ever since day one, since the game came out. But here nor there. Let's talk about some services. This one was pretty exciting for Game Pass perks. They're introducing more in-game benefits for free-to-play games with Game Pass, and some of the ones they wanted to highlight was Warzone, League of Legends, the Finals, and Overwatch 2. So you're going to be getting some like new skins and camos and whatever, like some of the accessories that are in the game as well. You're just going to be getting those like monthly through the perks. That's pretty dope. The one that I'm really curious about though is the Call of Duty related one, because I know when Xbox was buying Call of Duty, that was like one of the stipulations that they can't have anything like exclusive to them over PlayStation. So like I don't know, like, are they going to be giving away the same kind of content to PS PlayStation members of some sorts, or like if they're going to get in trouble, or are they breaching contract? Like I'd be curious to see how this evolves and whatnot. But nonetheless, Game Pass subscribers were getting another benefit. Win win. Are you looking forward to any of these free cosmetics for any of these games? Really, we don't really know of them any specifically, but I guess maybe Warzone would be cool to check out whatever we get when that does come.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot to look forward when it comes to the Warzone stuff, but as far as the cosmetics, like cosmetics never really interested me a lot in the first place. Um, but with that said, I mean, taking the time and pushing cosmetics for all of those games, it's fun, it's nice, it's a cool like nice to have. Um,
Yeah.
I don't really care about Overwatch 2. The finals was good, but I just never really hopped back into it.
Mm-hmm.
League, I stayed away from that. I've done my time as a League player. So it's nice to see, but it doesn't matter for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so Naraka Blade Point, you can see some updates here, like that.
Yeah.
That's all cool and well, but nothing that really just like hits me immediately.
Yeah.
Um, I haven't played TFT in forever. Valorant, I've only played with you guys.
Okay.
So yeah, like a lot of the stuff, it doesn't really affect me, but it's still nice to see that this is being done for the people that do love these games.
Right.
It's just kind of like I said, like it's a nice to have. And it's just kind of like a show of like, hey, here's some free shit for you guys. You give them some treats every once in a while, and they'll stay.
Yeah.
Um,
Just adds to
but
the
it's like
value of Game
it just
Pass, honestly.
yeah, it just adds to that's yeah, it's like basically it all culminates in like Game Pass being worth it. because this is the stuff you get. Um, like we knew Game Pass was worth the dollar to begin with,
Hmm.
just based off of if you can play two $70 games a month, like it's paid. It's already. I mean, if you play one $70 game a month, it's paid for itself.
Yep.
But now you're just getting more benefits, um, and that leads into what we've talked about way in the past, where like Game Pass and like the service of Game Pass is that's gonna be it. That's gonna be like the future. Eventually, like this, like people are gonna be getting the freebies with Game Pass. They're gonna be getting the day one games that they want to play, and this is just another feather in their cap, to be honest.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, man. So last thing for Xbox is they're testing something new in the Insider program. Right now it's called Game Hubs. I'm gonna get a trailer here up on screen, kind of showcasing kind of what it is. I'm kind of like so on this. So like when you click on the game to play it, it brings up this menu. Then it kind of gives you this like super detail, a lot of statistics on the screen, and then you have to hit play again, as opposed to just clicking on the title at the home screen to play. So I hopefully there's a toggle in the settings that you don't have to have this pop up every single time. Like I just want to be able to get into my game right away. I don't necessarily need to see the game hub every single time that I want to play a game. Like if you I feel like all you got to do is be able to press the start button when you're at the home screen like you can do already. And one of the options then is just click on game hub and it takes you to the screen if you want to see it. It'd be really nice to see a lot of this information, but I don't need to see it every single time I want to play the game. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. It's good information, but you don't need to see it every time. It's good information at the cost of just hopping into your game, and it's adding that. I wouldn't say barrier, but it's adding that extra inconvenience.
Mm-hmm.
So if there, like you said, if there was a toggle where you can make that something that just goes away, or if there's a button instead that you can, like if you hit start button on the game to just automatically play it, like those would be some cool features that they could work towards, or if they're already there and we just don't know yet. Um,
Right.
but it seems annoying. It seems like, oh great, another thing. I just gotta click again. I gotta do this or that. Like
Yeah.
how many times will this result in like you clicking a game, getting up to go grab a drink, thinking it's loading, and like you come back and you're like, well shit, I still have to. Okay, I gotta
Yeah.
hit that again. Um,
Well, shout out for quick
and
resume,
then
so you don't got to worry about a game loading ever on the Xbox. I love it. It's probably like the
fair.
most next gen feature I've ever like. If there's a feature I want on everything like PC and PlayStation, it's to have quick resume. Like it's
That's
fucking
fair.
insane. Like wherever I stop playing the game at, that's where I'm going. Like as soon as I click on the game to play it, that's where it immediately loads to that, and that's it. Like it doesn't. There's no load time. It just there, and I'm
Yeah,
just like it's
that's fair.
fucking
That's a fair
insane.
assessment.
But yeah, I get
But
the
now
point though. Like if
it
some
won't be
game
as
that because you can quit games out of the quick resume, like you can kick them out of there, so then it would reboot from the beginning. So like I could see that point. Like you think it's going to get take a little bit to load to the start screen at least, and you're just like, well, I forgot to hit A again. I guess now I gotta sit here and watch all the stupid shit that pops up if you have epilepsy and this and that and press start and there's a lot of shit you
that's
gotta
fair.
click through. So yeah, but yeah, I can get that. But yeah, man, that's all the Xbox news that we got for you this week. I'll just cover PlayStation real quick since it's not much. It's just an update to their services. PlayStation Plus free games for April are RoboCop Rogue City, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory. So three solid games, honestly. I've been looking forward to playing RoboCop since it came out last year, and I know it reviewed really well. And I've been wanting to play it. They just announced a recent DLC sequel ish thing for that. So I was like, well, now fuck, I don't gotta buy it. I can just play it on the PlayStation. Why not? Because I already subscribed to PlayStation Plus. Not the biggest fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre per se. Maybe I hop in, check it out, see what the hype was about, and hop out. But Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth is supposed to be a better one of the Digimon games lately, and I definitely would love to check out a Digimon game again and scratch that itch. It's been quite some time. Used to play the shit out of all the Digimon World games, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those were my like bread and butter back in the day. PS1, PS2, um, timeline. But any of these three games kind of excite you?
Not necessarily. Once again, I'm just kind of when it comes to PlayStation, I just don't really care too much. That's just me as a person.
Yeah,
That's it.
but let's talk about a platform that does excite you though with Nintendo.
A platform that does excite me and never ceases to excite me, as we saw earlier with the Seattle Mariners, we have to talk about Nintendo because what happened recently? Nintendo Direct, and they announced a lot. So a lot of the stuff we knew was already going to be coming around. A lot of the stuff we really didn't. But on top of the stuff we did know about, we have just so much stuff. So if everyone's in agreement, I'm going to go ahead and just read off of that list that we have here. So the Nintendo Direct was back on the 27th, and they had started with Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. We have Pokemon Legends Z to A. We have Rhythm Heaven Groove. We have Nintendo Switch Virtual Game Cards, which is weird. We have Tomodachi Life, Living the Dream. We have Nintendo Today, which isn't really so much a game,
It's an app.
but it is an app that they're going to be giving you to be able to use to look at latest news, videos, and everything like that. Up next, Marvel Cosmic Invasion,
Looks stupid.
which should be pretty awesome by all accounts. And then Dragon Quest 1 and 2, we got the HD 2D remake. Saga Frontier 2 remastered. No Sleep for Kaname Date from AI, the Somnium Files.
That's a long list.
Raidu Remastered, The Mystery of the Soulless Army. Patapon and Patapon 2. Disney Villains Cursed Cafe, which seems pretty fun. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie, that seems like a guilty pleasure game.
You literally
If
just
I've
sit
ever
there and
seen one.
serve them drinks and talk to them.
It seems like a guilty pleasure game if I've ever seen one.
It's like the Disney version of Coffee Talk.
Yeah, that's what it's coffee talk, but with like Ursula and like
And Maleficent.
what did I say?
Yeah.
Maleficent, and yeah, it
Yeah.
seems fun. Moving on from that, we got Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar, Shadow Labyrinth,
Mhm.
Witchbrook, The Eternal Life of Goldman, Gradius Origins, Rift of the Necrodancer, Tamagotchi Plaza, Monument Valleys,
Mhm.
Everybody's Golf Hot Shots, and we have some others like Fantasy Life, The Girl Who Steals Time. That's going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch on the 21st of May. King of Meat, High on Life, will come out on May 6th. Lose Lagoon, Star Overdrive, and The Wandering Village are all set to release on the Switch here at later dates. But that is what we got coming out of Nintendo Direct. It seems, I mean, nothing massive, but all good things. The Metroid Prime 4. I mean, that's gonna be big. Pokemon's always big when it comes out, and just some of the stuff they have coming out here. Just, I mean, it's your pretty standard, just like good B plus Nintendo Direct.
Yeah. Well, this is like an interesting one because they have another direct here in a couple of days on the second for the Switch 2 direct.
Hmm.
So I'm sure we're going to see like Pokemon and Metroid again at that one with hopefully confirmed release dates because I'm pretty sure that's why we still have yet to get them. They're kind of waiting on the Switch 2, let you know, hey, the Switch 2 is coming out. Rumor has it June. Pre-orders go live like April 9th or something like that. We'll see. Um, but yeah, man, that'll be interesting. But
Yeah, the Switch 2 Direct that's really, I think, where we can expect some newer, bigger announcements.
mhm,
Especially getting ready for the Switch 2, and then we're in March right now, so we have a few months until holiday season starts,
mhm,
where people start thinking about buying for that. So I think we might see some bigger drops here in the next 3 or 4 days.
yeah.
Um, but still, this was pretty solid.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about real quick because you kind of like sort of like, oh, that's interesting. The Nintendo Switch virtual game cards. So I did some research into this to actually quite understand because I was like, what are we doing? What are we doing? But
It seems weird,
I
right?
like this concept though because now it allows you to share games that you had bought digitally. So like if I buy Super Mario Brothers Wonder on my Switch and you want to play Mario Bros. Wonder, I can let you borrow my digital copy of my Mario Bros. Wonder and let you play it. So it kind of gives you that classic feeling of like I remember I used to borrow the shit ton of games from Roger for the Game Boy
Mhm.
Advance, Game Boy Color, shit like that back then, and it gives you that feeling again of but in the digital aspect. And I've been waiting for something like this. Like, I hope these other platforms jump on board with this, because like
Yeah.
I would love to share my entire collection of Xbox games or my PlayStation games. Like, oh, you haven't played that yet? You want to check it out? Go ahead, borrow it. And I don't gotta worry about getting it back either, because that was always an issue back then growing up. Was like, if I let you borrow the game, am I actually going to get it back? Because there have been quite a few times I lent games out and never got them back. But in this instance, it's like I can just revoke access whenever I want, and then you no longer can play the game.
Yeah, yeah. You said you were gonna be. You said you were gonna beat it by the end of the month, and you didn't. So I'm taking it. Sorry. No. So this is. So when I said weird earlier, I didn't mean like this is a weird thing to do. This is an amazing thing to do. It's just weird that they're doing it now. And
Eight
it
years
was
later, that's
like 8 years. Um, and it's also weird that they didn't like just bring this into like. I feel like something like this like is getting largely overshadowed by the fact that we have the Switch 2 and we have everything like
mhm,
that coming later.
yeah.
Like I feel like this would have been better placed with the Switch 2 announcements. This would have been better placed with like the next generation of Nintendo Switch gaming is
Mhm,
now going to also include
yeah,
virtual cards where you can lend out
yeah.
your virtual copy of a game. And that would have been if this was announced 4 days from now or 3 days from now, like we would probably have not stopped talking about this. Instead, we brushed over it and said, "Nah, 8 years a little bit too
Yeah, it
late."
was interesting
Like
because it
at
was
the
like a games
yeah,
direct, but
like
then they like wanted to talk about like a software like enhancements
yeah,
for Nintendo Switch Life.
yeah, yeah. So all that to say, this is an awesome thing that Nintendo is doing. I think they should have just held off a few days and made it like
Yeah,
one of their bigger announcements
I guess we
with
can almost say
the
that about the other one
new.
here, Nintendo Today app. Like
Yeah,
it's a app for like your phone that's supposed to give you like news every day about Nintendo and stuff like that. And I'm like, it kind of felt weird and lost in the sauce, like in a game direct. Like you were talking about video games, and then they're like, here's
yeah.
this app that's going to tell you about games. All right, back to the games. Like it felt really out of place. But I also don't like. I feel like Nintendo's like just trying a whole bunch of stuff to see if it sticks. Like the music app that it did. Like I don't know how well that's been doing. I downloaded it,
Yeah.
signed into it, and never listened to a song
Well, that sounds
ever.
like a user error.
Yeah, it's like, but
I
it's
don't
like
know.
how many times have like I can't see them having a lot of subscribers listening to music on their music app. Like I
That's
just
fair.
don't. And it's just
Not
like,
when you have YouTube. Not when you have 24/7
and it's the same thing
live
with this. Is
versions
like,
of all of this.
where do I get all of my gaming news? 99% of the time,
From
Twitter.
the Press Start podcast, baby. Come on.
Yes.
That's where you get it.
I love it. Shout out to us. Shout out to us. But where do we get our news from for everyone else to have it? I probably get it from Twitter 99% of the time. So it's like
Well, that's the most real time.
I don't need this app. I probably am not I might download just go, okay, okay, yeah, back to Twitter I go, because like I just don't see a need or a preference to have this. Unless I'm
I'm willing
literally
to bet.
only need that. Like if I'm only playing Nintendo, okay, maybe, but I'm such a all over the place gamer.
I'm willing to bet that as the resident Nintendo speaker on the podcast, I will probably find use for this. Mainly also because I'm not on Twitter, because I don't like Twitter. Um,
He's
I
a
just never got just never got into it. Nothing political about it. I just never got into it.
not nothing
It's
political
all
now, I
just like
guess.
it's all just yeah. It's all just porn bots and like people spewing like brain rot. Like that's it. At least from what I've seen. Um,
I'm glad
but
I have mine. My algorithm is
I think
great.
this could be useful. I think I'm I would like to I would like to see. So when this drops and when this gets used, I would like to say I'm interested to know how much of the Nintendo news you get from Twitter is now going to be accompanied by screenshots, and is now going to be accompanied with like the mobile link,
I
like
mean,
for
to
like
the app.
Nintendo Today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that push you over to Nintendo Today because I'm interested in that because like Nintendo's always really good at like they've always been really good at giving you too much information
Hmm.
when it comes down to like Nintendo's news this week, like things like that. I mean, they tell you everything under the sun about any game or anything that they are doing. And I'm interested to see if this is going to be just kind of that. If it's just going to be basically like the Nintendo news like homepage where they're
Hmm.
just kicking out things like, oh, Donkey Kong gets a glitch fix, like random shit like that. Like they have so much to say on that site. So I'm interested to see if this is going to be
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, hopefully it's very useful. I mean, that would be great to have another tool just in my repertoire to look at news and stuff like that. Especially because I feel like a lot of time we don't have a ton of Nintendo news because as of lately it hasn't really been a lot of Nintendo news. I think we're going to start to have obviously a lot more with the Switch 2 right around the corner. Then that's where we're going to take off. But yeah, just having a place that we can just directly pull information from is going to be,
Yeah.
I think, could be useful.
Well, there's always a lot of Nintendo news. It's just not. It's not relevant.
Right.
Like, what is it? We'll do what I do every Sunday, uh, at like 6 o'clock.
The pre-show,
Nintendo
just like
news this week takes you right down to nintendonews.com, where they have things of like Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 physical Switch uh, bundle announced, which is cool. That literally just happened about 26 minutes ago. That's why it's not in the itinerary. Breakout Beyond launch trailer. They have just so much. It's just like it's almost too much information. Pre-order updates, a coming live action Zelda game, cookie cutter overkill, like, and that's just the first 4 things they have. So I'm hoping to see if this is going to be something like that, where they just like they put out like all of that information and it's just there at your fingertips, because that'll be cool.
yeah,
Whether or not it's relevant to the podcast on that specific day, it really just depends.
yeah. So,
But speaking of things that were getting made,
mhm.
uh, and things that we'd liked to see, we're gonna move from something that we didn't know we needed or wanted to something that we did want and we're no longer getting. And that's gonna be from Warner Brothers Games,
Oh, hold on
and
real
that's gonna
quick. I
be
wanted to talk about a few more
oh
games
oh
from
oh
this.
oh oh oh, not me,
Yeah,
not me segueing,
he's
dude.
trying to
Segues are
segue. That was
weird.
pretty cool. I like the
That
segue
was a
that you
good
were doing.
segue. You
It
wasted my
was,
good
yeah. I
segue.
had to put on the brakes. I pulled
Damn,
the e-brake. I
damn,
was on the back
damn.
holding you on the back of the segue. I was like,
That was man. That was all right here. I'll never be able to replicate that. You took
skirt.
my good segue. But anyway,
I don't know how we could blow
continue.
past Marvel Cosmic Invasion. This game looks fucking really great. It gives me like classic vibes. I'm gonna get the trailer here up on screen just because this might be the only one I show a trailer of out of these games. But this is coming from like even TMT Shredder's Revenge studio. This is like a side scrolling like beat 'em up classic game with like all of these like really dope heroes. Let's see. I don't even know if they have a little bit of gameplay here at the end, but I was just like, man, this reminded me of like just playing at the arcade, playing at Chuck E. Cheese back in the day, and I'm like, this is dope. This is like Marvel right now when it comes to video games, at least, especially hitting off of Marvel Rivals, and then giving us something like this. Oh man,
Oh
it's
yeah,
just
they're not. Yeah,
it's hitting right now.
they're not missing a beat right now.
Yeah, movies and TV shows, you know, you might get lucky if you get something good. Whoops, hit the wrong transition there, but yeah, man, I wanted to highlight that, and it's coming to all platforms too: Xbox, PlayStation, Switch, Steam, and it's coming out later this year. I couldn't imagine this being an overly expensive game either. I'm looking at probably like a $20 or $30 price tag would be my guess. Um,
I would hope it best.
yeah,
I would hope it best for a side scroll like that. But with the Marvel price tag, we'll see.
yeah, so that was really dope. We did talk about Disney Villains Curse Cafe. Yeah, that was interesting. The other one was awesome to see another trailer for Shadow Labyrinth. So Scott, me and you actually covered this one of the shows, game whatever it was, and we were like, "What the fuck is this?" And we're like, "Is that Pac Man?" What? It's Pac Man, and then we're like, "No way, is this a different take on the world of Pac Man?" And
Yeah.
I'm just like, "Okay." And then the fact that we got like another trailer for this, and the release date coming out to the Switch at least on July 18th, and I'm like, "Okay, that's dope." Like that shit's badass. Like it's right around the corner. We just got it revealed. This is obviously based off of the secret level episode from the Amazon show. I just wanted to go back and highlight
See,
that.
that is interesting, and I'm actually yeah, I'm actually glad you ruined my segue, because uh, I had started watching Secret Level on Amazon,
Hmm.
and they went through the Pac-Man. I watched the Pac-Man episode. It was like I think it was like the second or third episode. Um, and knowing now that this is based off of that, where it even says uh, you might want to catch up on the Secret Level episode about it beforehand.
Yeah, Yeah,
So
it makes you
like
wonder because I watched the first episode of Secret Level and I'm like, okay, I gotta watch it now just so I can
the,
know what's going on.
yeah, the first episode was the Dungeons and Dragons episode,
Hmm.
which I thought was also good.
Yeah, it was pretty
Um,
good. Yeah.
yeah, that was a good one. It was very, I mean, it was very like on the nose, like a quick 15-minute Dungeons and Dragons thing. Um, but going into like different ones, like about which episodes were based off of which, it was basically like of what was the Netflix show? It was like it was like something Love and Robots or something like that. I forget the name of it
Mm,
off the top of my head right now.
yeah.
So I do apologize for that. But it was like basically that, but for video games. And then I watched the Pac-Man episode, and that was wild. That was a
Yeah.
little wild to say the least. And so if this is based off of that, um, or if this is like is I mean they're telling us to catch up on that, so I don't know if it's picking up from there. If that's the case, then the game itself is going to be wild.
Yeah. It's
It was
just
like a weird like
who would have thought we needed like a reinvention of Pac-Man in a different genre?
well
Like,
I just didn't know that Pac-Man was an eldritch horror is all I'm saying.
all right. So another one I wanted to highlight real quick was Monument Valley coming to the Switch. I have beaten all three of these games on my iPhone. When they come out over the years, and then Netflix eventually bought the studio, and I just beat Monument Valley 3 actually this year, and it's just one of those like mind bending puzzles, like just the angles and how it sets up the world, just all based on like how the angle is. And you're trying to get like your little character to the end point, but how do you get to the end point? Well, you gotta might have to move this up and down, and you have to get the person over here to unlock this door to then go back. Like it's very awesome, beautiful looking, great game. Music is phenomenal. There's no words spoken, so like you're trying to interpret the story all through like what you're doing and the interactions of your character with the other characters in the game. Beautifully done. But the fact is coming to the Switch, I actually would love to see this on the Switch OLED, or if the Switch 2 screen is just as good as the OLED, because of just the vibrancy and just the color spectrum that this game is, could look absolutely incredible on an OLED.
Yeah, looking at it now, the contrast on an OLED would look absolutely just phenomenal. And I don't think we can expect anything less from the Switch 2.
Hopefully.
That it's gonna be better or it's gonna be the same
I'm
or
not going
better.
to lie, when I'm in Target, I go down to the Switch aisle and I see the regular Switch next to the OLED Switch, and I'm like,
They're totally different games. They're totally
they
different
look
consoles,
way
man.
different, and it's like
Yeah.
I've been missing out because I have the OG Switch. I bought the OG Switch when
Yep.
Odyssey came out. You know, I just never took that jump. I was like, I don't know if I really need the OLED. Like, but I see it looks beautiful, but like, I'm not really getting much out of it. It's a slightly bigger screen. It
Mhm.
doesn't really do any like, but like you said, if the Switch 2 is the OLED screen, like because we don't expect anything less, like that's going to be great. Like that's going to be a really great reason to buy the Switch 2 and to upgrade in like the power that it's going to be capable of doing with future games. I'm definitely looking forward to April 2nd for the for
Yeah.
the Switch 2
100%.
direct. um but yeah, man, and then just real quick, I can't believe they fucking put it in a listing and not even like a main idea topic here. High on Life is coming to the Switch on May 6th. This game
I
was
was wondering if you were gonna
fucking
bite on
great.
that when I
And
said it. I
I was
was really
so
wondering if you
pissed
were
that
gonna
it
bite
was
on
in
that
the
hook.
list that like that. Like it didn't have its own section about High on Life. I was like, this game is fucking phenomenal. Like we know the whole issues with the voice actor and stuff like that eventually got cleared and when I got brought back to Scranch Games, and I was just like, man, I was like, cool, more people get to play this game. Why not? Like this game was hilarious, stupid, funny, just a great game. So more people get to check that out on May 6th too. It's right around the corner, like literally 2 months, and you'll be able to check this out. But
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
man, I just wanted to highlight those quick ones real quick. So if you want to go ahead and beep beep and get the segue on the Muro here to WB Games.
Speaking of games that we got that we didn't know we wanted, we're gonna move into a game that we wanted that we're no longer getting. I hope that sounded just as good, just as clear and crisp. And of course, the game I am talking about is Hogwarts Legacy from Warner Brothers Studios. The DLC and the definitive edition have been canceled, so we are not getting anything else out of the Hogwarts Legacy that you know and love and bought when you knew it, you loved it, and you bought it. However, the sequel is still going to be in the world, like working on that. So sequel is still very much alive and well. DLC and a definitive edition are not, however, which is kind of a bummer because I was really, really hoping that they were going to work the morality scale
That would
into
have
the
been great.
game. That
That
would
would
have been just chef's
I
kiss,
might have replayed that
outstanding.
game just
I
to
would
experience
have
it.
absolutely replayed that game if it had a morality scale, even if it just had like an early Fable morality scale.
Hmm.
Like that would have been just chef's kiss on that because that would have been great. Because ha- dark wizards don't know that they're dark wizards. Dark wizards don't think that they're dark wizards.
Okay,
It's a matter of perspective, but
it
like you
is.
would have had a chance to see that perspective on screen. So that's kind of a bummer.
Hmm.
Maybe
That,
maybe with the
that
sequel we'll
reminds me
see
about
something
Star
with
Wars.
that.
It's like the Empire doesn't really think they're the bad guys.
Yeah,
It's all a
it's a
matter of
matter of
perspective.
perspective.
Yeah,
From the point, yeah,
certain point of
from
view.
my point of view, yeah, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
Yeah,
Anakin Skywalker, shout
he.
out April 25th, back in
Yeah,
theaters and IMAX.
I'm going. I
We're
don't give a
we're
fuck.
not we're not sponsored by them. We're just trying to be.
Yeah, that'd be
Uh,
great. We want the podcast
but
to be up on all IMAX theaters in the
yeah,
future. You know.
exactly. We're not sponsored by them, but we're trying to be. Damn it! If you don't shoot, you'll always miss, right? If
Yes,
you don't
sir.
ask, the answer's always no. But so it's kind of a bummer coming out of Hogwarts Legacy because that game really was just that fucking good.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you feel, that game was great. And some DLC from that would have been fantastic, and a definitive edition with some just kind of some kind of added niceties would have been just incredible at that point. But the sequel's still in the works. The sequel's still alive and well, so we can always look forward to that.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to release this like in a similar timeline when like Harry Potter season 1 comes out. This with the remake of the movies into TV shows. Which
Yeah,
that's already been pissing me off, but you know, I don't feel
with
like
their
diving in.
new with their new and improved white sickly looking pasty skinned Snape.
Yes. Yes,
Anyway,
thank you. That's exactly what I'm alluding to. That's what irritated me the most. But here nor there. But let's talk about a game that like, Hogwarts Legacy keeps not getting these updates that maybe would be nice to a game that just never stops getting updates, like they have something new all the time for like 8 years now. And No Man's Sky is continuing that trend here with a new relics update. So with this one, you're getting dig sites, stone guardians, relics expeditions, design skeletons, bartering, basilisk staff, bone creatures, share fossil displays, bone broth, stone exosuit, skeletal companion, stone ghost, precious relics, and a titanic bone worm. I'm gonna get a trailer here up on screen, but I'm just like if
they
only
just don't stop. They,
if if only this game had all of this content from the very beginning, I probably would be one of those ones that are still playing this game because I bought this game. Like this was one of the reasons why I bought my PS4 back in the day. I wanted to play this game before it went multi-platform and stuff like that. And the other one was Horizon Forbidden, or the first one, Horizon Zero Dawn. Like
you're done.
those were the two games that I bought first. And I was like, man, but I was like, there's not really much to do in No Man's Sky. I was like, meh, I'm all right, and just completely fell off. I dove back in when I bought it for Xbox just to check it out, because I was like, maybe it's better. And I was like, okay, well, it has a little bit here going for it, you know, but it's still not there. But like this game has everything that I was hoping that the game had, but it's just too late. Like it's a day late and a dollar short for me. But this is really awesome to see for all of those people that still play the game and really support it the way that they do, still get this kind of content here. But
Well, and for anybody that's picking it up, anybody who's like, okay, now there's a lot of content. Like I didn't play this game because I always generally wait for other people to kind of give their reviews about it, and it was just nothing. It was no content. It was like just not a lot to do. And then over time, they just added more and more because these guys, I swear to God, these guys don't sleep at this point. But now, like going back into it, it's like, well, now I know there's a lot more content that I could do if I wanted to. So like, and I know I'm not the only person that feels that way sometimes. Um, So like for people that are just now getting into it, like or want to go back into it, like they just have a lot more content for people to pick up and play now.
Yeah.
So that's always nice to see.
Do you plan to maybe give this game a go?
It, I would like to. It seems like kind of just a good like just kind of chill game that I can go and just hop in,
This
do a
could be
few
your
things. Like
Minecraft where you just want to hop in
this
every
could be
once
my
in a while.
Minecraft. This could I just hop in and just zone out, right? Just hop in and just kind of play some stuff. But first, I
About
have to get through.
every 8 months of the year, you're like,
Yeah,
I'm going to play No Man's Sky. Like that's how I feel with Minecraft and always have. It's like
that's
eight
fair.
months and I'm in there for like a week or two, and I'm like, yeah, that's it. I'm good.
Yep. Yeah, you just get your fix just to feel something, you know.
Yeah, just
Uh,
so I can feel
it
something.
could be something like that. It could be a game like that for me, but it really just depends, just because I've never played it.
Hmm.
So I would have to hop in and see just kind of how I feel about it, and then go from there. But yeah, I mean, with the stuff that they've been putting in there, I mean, these guys they just keep at it, and they're always just putting stuff in there. So I don't feel that if I get in there, there'll be anything like that I'm missing. I won't feel like
Probably
I'm
not at this
short of
point.
things to do. I don't feel
Yeah,
like I'm going to be short of anything to do. That is for certain.
I feel like I look at the game now and I'm
100%.
like, it's too overwhelming to hop in. Like now I have the opposite
You went
problem.
from yeah, you have the opposite problem. There's too much shit in this game. Why can't they go back to day one when there was fucking nothing to do
Nothing.
to walk around? That's when the game was great. That's when the game was great.
Yeah.
Make No Man's Sky great again.
Said nobody ever, except that it's
Said
already been
nobody
great.
ever.
It's been on the
But
best trajectory ever of a redemption arc. Like it
that's
hasn't
fair.
even
It's
reached its
it's
peak
been
at this
so
point.
good. These guys should be a case study in
Easily.
how you redeem a game and how you just stay consistent, listen to your people, and if you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
Like that's what this should be a case study of. But speaking of making games great again, is it okay if I segue?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm not
So
pulling any
speaking of
drink this
making
time.
games great again, there is one place that is going to be made great again on April 3rd, and that is Verdansk, ladies and gentlemen. It is back, April 3rd. They are going to now. There's some controversy going on with Verdansk coming back, because the dev team over at Call of Duty did say that they rebuilt it from the ground up, which none of us asked for. We just asked you to turn the servers back on. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it. That was all we wanted. So there's some pros and cons here. Verdansk is back. That's it. Like that's the pro. Some cons that some people might see, depending on how they feel, is some of the movement, some of the details, some of how the guns work, all that kind of stuff. They're pulling a lot of that from Black Ops 6. Now, there's some people saying that it's also going to be the same movement from the 2019 Modern Warfare, which was the original Verdansk back in 2020. They used all of that. So it really just depends on what we see when we get in there, because there's kind of some mixed reviews about both of them, and there's kind of some mixed signals about both of them. But none of that shadows the fact that Verdansk is back, baby. Not only is Verdansk back, there will be a return to Verdansk launch event, where Verdansk is split into 12 zones, and if you go through the motions that you need to unlock a safe in each of those zones, so 12 safes in all 12 zones, you will be rewarded with the Cali sticks. Currently, that is the only known way to get the Cali sticks, which I think is a pretty cool little in-game event that they get to do.
Yeah, I'm sure it
Um,
goes into the
so
armory. Like
yeah,
basically that kind
so
of stuff. If you can't do that event, it'll eventually drop into the armory and then there'll be some challenge you get it before.
eventually, but for right now, that
Yeah.
is how you get them. So hopefully, if you want them up front, you gotta get to work. Not only are they doing the Cali sticks free with 12 unlocks of saves, they're also doing a free Kilo 141 that will automatically be unlocked for you if you log in from the time that Season 3 releases for Black Ops on April 2nd. If you log in between 9 o'clock on April 2nd and 9 o'clock on April 3rd, you will be rewarded with the Kilo 141.
Oh, it looks like I got to
So
download
with
Call
yeah,
of Duty. No, it's already on my system. I've been playing
yes.
zombies every once in a while with Roger. So I gotta
That's
hop in
fair,
for within the
and
24-hour period. I can get it.
within that 24-hour period, and not only within that 24-hour period are you getting the Kilo 141, but the Black Ops 6 free trial will come out with the Season 3 launch on April 2nd. So at April 2nd, you will get 24 hours free of the Black Ops 6 free trial, which will give you the multiplayer, the Warzone, and some of the storyline there as well. Whatever you can, all you can eat for 24 hours.
You can beat the whole
So
story if you
how
want.
far, how far you getting that? It's entirely up to you. But that's some of the things we have to look forward to on April 3rd when they finally drop Verdansk, which we've been asking for since they took it away.
Yeah, right. It's all been downhill ever since. Although,
Yeah, they're doing some detail updates and things like that. They're doing a little bit of moving, so it's gonna be
as long as I can hit
it's
my
gonna
car 98 shots, that's all that matters.
hey, the only thing stopping you is you, my guy. But with that, so at the some cool additions that they're doing there is for anybody who remembers, the minute you hit the water in Verdansk, you're dead. Not anymore. They're going to give you a beachfront. They're going to give you some places to walk so you can actually explore some of the southern half of the Verdansk
If
map.
I'm not mistaken, they
Where
got rid of all water in the new Verdansk mask. Is what I
no,
read.
not that I saw. I saw that it was going to be an explorable, walkable water like they did previously.
Yeah, I'll have to double check
Or
that.
for all we know, maybe global warming finally caught up with them and there's no more water. Which wouldn't make sense
Okay,
because
so it
global
says
warming is
in
going
the
to make the
returning
water rise.
Verdansk, it says on the Verdansk map for Call of Duty Warzone, the water features, including Gora River, are no longer frozen, but the water is only ankle deep, and the southern combat zone has been extended into the Castellanian Sea with the coastline accessible for swimming. So
So the water's not gone.
yeah,
They unfroze the river, and you
it's
can
just not
now
deep no
walk
more.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
it's
walk
just
on
not deep.
water.
Yeah, best
Yes.
Jesus impression wins.
Yeah.
But that is what we're getting out of Warzone and the Verdansk update and the Verdansk drop, which I know that me and a couple of my buddies are really looking forward to.
Mhm.
Just
I
because
may have to hop
that's
in just to see, like, does it live up to that COVID hype? Because like that's
I
when we were
don't
playing
know.
it,
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Well, it depends. If we get a good like worldwide trauma between now and the third,
We got to
it
be on
might.
another pandemic
It
for
might.
to
It
enjoy.
might. But if not, it really just it might not be as sweet as the last time we tasted it.
And I love
But
how it's releasing
uh,
around the same time as it did originally.
yes, yes. But it is coming back, and it should be a joy for all of us to go back in and hop in. I'm excited. Once they get rid of Verdansk, I've wanted nothing but Verdansk back. So we'll see here. They're gonna have the normal maps there. They're gonna have the normal play styles. So you'll get your BR, your plunder quads, your boot camp. Like you'll get all
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
I
I
do
mean,
like.
hopefully
We
it's
actually
just
didn't
as
cover
good
it.
as
I do
remember it.
like the new button they added. If you go to the buyback station, there's a button now that you can hit revive all teammates instead of having to go in there
Yes,
and click them
that
individually.
will be in there.
That is a
That will be
quality
in
of
there.
life update.
They did a lot of quality of life updates for this,
vertical
and that
vertical
is
buyback
yep,
station too. No more
that
doing
is
the other
one of
stupid
them.
shit.
But the best quality of life update so far that I've seen is that you will still be able to shoot people in the air when you deploy.
Oh, there you
And I
go.
cannot wait. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be fantastic.
Hell
But that
yeah.
is all we got coming out of Warzone and Call of Duty and Verdansk.
Yeah, man. And actually, that is the end of the episode. So, any last comments or remarks before we close out this week's episode?
Catch me at Damn Thursday night. That's
Oh
it.
man. But just real quick, man, before we end the episode, I just wanted to shout out to all the supporters as of lately. I know I've been dropping a lot of business cards off. A lot of people have been really excited, been grabbing them, and dropping subscribes on YouTube and Twitch as well. So we definitely appreciate the love and support, and just the pure excitement of like, yo, can't wait for your new episode and whatnot. So we definitely appreciate that and look forward to any comments, questions, concerns, or even if you want to come on the show, which we'll talk about here in just a moment. But we do also want to thank anyone who did come through and check this out live today. I believe we had a few people come through, but nonetheless, be sure to check us out on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or wherever you may want to listen to them at. But Scott, where can we find you, at, man?
You can catch me here on Sundays, and if not, you can always catch me on Discord. My name's Scoby1.
And of course, everyone can check me out Twitter at Mr. Never underscore. Threads is Mr. Never Chillin'. Xbox is X Never Space Chillin'. If you want a game, party up, hit me up there. I do play on PS5 from time to time, spend a little bit of time, but that is VBrew24. And Facebook is Vic Brubacher for any questions, concerns, or if you do want to come on the show, hit me up there. I do have a Twitch at twitch.tv/Mr. Never Chillin', where maybe one of these days I'm going to start streaming. I did get really, really big into sports cards again. I actually have not talked to you, Scott, about it. I think I have a new addiction again that I reopened, and I literally just received another packet of cards from an online seller to try and complete a set. So I got
Oh
to
yeah, that's
get
way
those
better than
added.
crystal meth.
Yeah, way better.
Way
Um,
better.
so I'm thinking about doing some live streams of opening packs and kind of going through some of my collections and whatnot. If not, I'll be posting some short clips on TikTok and like Instagram Reels and YouTube Shorts. So I'll be on the lookout for a lot of content there. But again, we do want to
Hell yeah.
thank everyone again, and until next week, peace.
Press Start Podcast.